Hi singers, Miki here with your singing tip of the week. I haven't really done reaction videos before on my channel, but it seems like that's what people really want to see on vocal coaching channels. So I'm going to try one today. And the song that I'm going to be reacting to is Kelly Clarkson's Piece by Piece, which she debuted on the American Idol farewell season 3 years ago. So it's not exactly a new video, but one of my students is singing the song, and so she introduced me to this performance of the song, and I guess this is the first time that she had performed it live. And the reason that I want to react to this video in particular is because I think it illustrates a really important principle. When you're performing a song, whether it's a song that you've written or whether it's a cover song, I believe the most important piece of really having a successful performance is to connect emotionally with what you're singing about. And I think that that can hide a multitude of sins. And what I mean by that is, I've discussed in previous videos how there are so many technically proficient singers out there, and it's not enough to nail every pitch or belt in an impressive way or do acrobatic things with your voice, because we've become so good at that. It's much more effective even if you miss the mark slightly technically and your voice cracks or you don't have the range or the power that other singers have, if you really connect with the emotional content of the song and you're able to communicate that to your audience effectively. I think all of us as an audience want to be moved and want to be transported, and there's something that's really alchemical about that. We want to have that emotional catharsis when we see somebody perform, and we'll go to great lengths to watch a performer that's able to do that effectively. So, obviously this is a very personal song for her about her strained relationship with her father. And so she's able to deliver the song in a very genuine, authentic way. But what's important when you're covering a song is you have to relate that in some way to your own personal experiences. So even if you haven't been abandoned by your father, hopefully, you have to connect with that emotion in some genuine way. So you have to find something that happened in your life that can make you feel a similar emotion and think about that and really visualize it as you're singing. And that's going to really make the performance authentic and effective. So without further ado, let's watch this performance and see why it's such an incredible moment and why it moved everybody so much.
And all I remember is your back, walking towards the airport, leaving us all in your past. I traveled 1,500 miles to see you. I begged you to want me, but you didn't want to.
So one of the things that I think is so effective about this performance to begin with is just the setting and how classic and simple it is. She's wearing a black dress that is not particularly over the top. It looks very composed and elegant. And the stage has this grand piano. It's just a pianist and her. There's not a lot of distraction. You've got a couple spotlights coming down. And you just get the feeling that this is going to be something that you should take seriously. There's not a lot of distractions. You're focused on her. And the way that she sings those first couple of lines, if you look in her face, she's so open and she's really making eye contact, and you can just tell that she's delivering this honest message right from the get-go, just from her body language and the way that her face and her eyes are so open.
But piece by piece, he collected me up off the ground where you abandoned things, and piece by piece, he filled the holes that you burned in me. At 6 years old, and he never walks away, he never asks for money, he takes care of me, 'cause he loves me. Piece by piece, he restores
So there's just something so moving about the lyrics of this song. Obviously, it's so heavy. It's such a heavy topic. And she's just being so open and vulnerable in what she's saying and communicating. And if you look out at the audience, if you look out at the panel of judges and the way that they're receiving this message, everybody is so attentive. It first cuts to this woman who you see her just like hugging herself, in the audience. And I think it's just landing so effectively and heavily on people because the message is so strong. And then you see Keith Urban and Jennifer Lopez, and everybody is just staring at her, and they're rapt and they're really listening to what she's saying.
And all of your words, they fall flat. I made something of myself, and now you wanna come back. But your love, it isn't free. It has to be earned.
So you can already hear by this point, her voice is starting to get gravelly, and it's so full of emotion that it's getting that compression, that distortion on it, and almost like fraying at the edges. So when she first started singing, her tone was so connected and pure. She wasn't pushing. It didn't have an exceptional amount of power. Her voice is just naturally so powerful anyway, but it was this very, very clear tone. And now as she's getting more emotional, and she's like very pregnant, so I'm sure that's also contributing to the emotional content, you can really hear every emotion in her voice, and she's allowing that to come through in a really effective way.
Back then I didn't have anything you needed, so I was worthless.
Okay, so this is the first time that you really see her overcome with emotion, and she can barely get that word out, right? Worthless. She really whispers it. And then she looks away from the camera, and you can see that she's trying not to cry. And so clearly this is something that she is still raw with emotion on. And as she's singing it, she's connecting with each of those words in such an authentic and real-time, honest way. So she's feeling everything that she's saying. And I think that's vital to making this performance so effective. The other thing that I really, really love about this performance is whenever she says, "He loves me," up until the word loves, there's this power and this connectedness in the tone. And then on loves, it almost falls off a cliff, and that word gets very quiet. And so it makes it so much more effective, It's like this just all the air gets sucked out of the room, and that one word, love, is so delicate.
Piece by piece, he collected me off the ground where you abandoned things. And piece by piece, he filled the holes that you burned in me at 6 years old.
And you can hear that she's breathing every couple of words. So the phrases are broken up because she's so emotional. So it's like, piece by piece, he collected me up off the ground where he abandoned things. So she's not able to sustain that breath support through the whole phrase because she's so emotional. And so when we hear that breathing, it causes a physical response, almost like a mirror response in us, and we start breathing in this more agitated way, and we get more emotional. There's this mirroring action that's going on in terms of us having empathy for what she's feeling.
He never walks away. He never asks for money.
People are crying.
Cause he loves me.
That's where it is. 'Cause he loves me. She just really pulls the air out of the room on that word, and it's very, very effective.
Piece by piece, he restored my faith that a man can be kind and a father could stay. Piece by piece, I fell far from the tree.
I'm laughing because Jennifer Lopez looks so serious, and it's almost like she wants to like emote, but I think her face is like frozen, so she can't like cry. She's like.
Never leave her like you left me, and she will never have to wonder her worth, because unlike you, I'm gonna put her first, and he'll never walk away.
So again, here she's like really, really losing it. And I think when she connects this not only from her relationship to her father, but to her daughter now, to the next generation, how she's not going to repeat these patterns of abandonment. That's when it really gets everybody in the audience. And you see Keith Urban, who's a father, really starts losing it at this point.
He'll never walk away. He'll never break her heart. He'll take care of things. He'll love her. Piece by piece, he'll restore my faith.
Keith Urban. He needs a hug.
What a man can do. And a father should be great.
So I think this amount of vulnerability, we don't see that a lot, especially with celebrities. They're trying to present their highlight reel, and their highlight reel is so much better than our highlight reel. You know, it's so airbrushed and everything else. And so to be able to get this window into somebody's true emotions is very, very effective. And I think that's one of the reasons that people really love Kelly Clarkson, is that she does show that vulnerable side of herself, and she is very real. So all of this comes together to just make this incredibly moving and effective performance. And, you know, I'm kind of ribbing on Jennifer Lopez and Keith Urban and stuff, but I obviously am very moved by this performance too, and I'm totally joking. I think that they are right to be so affected by it. I think she did an amazing job, and that's why it's so hard to perform the song, because it's so much her, and it's so much her voice and her lived experience. And so in order to do a version of the song that's effective, you have to find a way to connect honestly with your own experiences and channel them through the song. And it's funny, you know, because my student is doing the song, we were listening to the karaoke track, I think it was Sing King Karaoke, and they actually bake in breaks where she had to stop and collect herself. And so when she had to sing the chorus twice, he never walked away, because she's crying live, they baked in that break and they had that line come back twice, which is so funny, because why would you want to imitate exactly the way that she's crying and the way that it affected her? You have to make it your own. You can't just cry where she cries, because that would be so fake and so canned. Everybody, the judges are giving her a standing ovation. They all stood up to clap for her. Super pregnant and hormonal. She's just so cute, you know?
Are you crying up on stage? I mean, the
Ryan Seacrest
emotion
is
that you exude,
yeah.
always, but especially
Keith
in
Urban
that
is a
important
mess.
song. It's just incredible.
Pregnant, and it's nostalgic, and I can't believe it's the last season. And yeah, really sorry, I just bawled.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that was the debut of that song, and I think it's an incredible performance for all the reasons that I mentioned. And it's just something to keep in mind as you work on your own cover songs and as you write your own songs and you want to perform them in a way that really connects with your audience. Just being vulnerable and being honest is something that we all crave, and that's a way to really connect with an audience if you're brave enough to be that open, and if you're strong enough to be that weak. So I'm going to include a video of my student singing the song, and I wish that I had videoed it the first time that she sang it, because she wasn't able to make that connection the first time, and it came across as just another song. And then the video that I'm going to attach is when she came back a week later and she nailed it. And I didn't ask her what memory she was thinking of or how she made that connection between her own emotions and the song. But, you know, I had asked her to find a memory and to think of that as she was singing the song, and you can tell that she really did it. And she was able to sing it in a way that made it meaningful for her. So I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you here next week for another singing tip of the week. Until then, happy singing.
And all I remember is your back, walking towards the airport, leaving us all in your past. I traveled 1,500 miles to see you. Begged you to want me, but you didn't want to. But piece by piece, he collected me up off the ground where you abandoned things. And piece by piece, he filled the holes that you burned in me. At 6 years old, and you know he never walks away. He never runs for money. He takes care of me, 'cause he loves me. Piece by piece, you restore my faith that a man could be kind and a father could stay. And all of your words, they fall flat. I made something of myself, and now you wanna come back. But your love, it isn't free, it has to be earned. Back then I didn't have anything you needed, so I was worthless. And piece by piece, he collected me up off the ground where you abandoned things. And piece by piece, he filled the holes that you burned in me. At 6 years old, and you know he never walks away. He never asks for money. He takes care of me, 'cause he loves me. Piece by piece, you restored my faith that a man can be kind and a father could stay. Piece by piece, and piece by piece, I fell far from the tree. I will never leave her like you left me, and she will never have to wonder her worth, because unlike you, I'm gonna put her first. And you know he'll never walk away. He'll never walk away. He'll never break her heart. He'll take care of things. He'll love her. Piece by piece, you restored my faith that a man can be kind and a father should